This video is about the best soundbars you can buy, I promise. But first, I gotta say something. You ever get annoyed by online recipes? You just want the ingredients and instructions to make the best cinnamon rolls ever. Not a 4-minute diatribe about how heartwarming and delicious they are, with an anecdote about how Aunt Mary used to make these in her log cabin deep in the forests of Connecticut. Well, I know I can't stand that stuff, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and bet that you know why you want a soundbar, and you're just looking for some advice on which one is gonna work best for you. So, let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and you can trust me because I've been testing and reviewing soundbars professionally for 14 years and non-professionally for another 10 years before that. Here's a list of soundbars that cover a wide range of needs, wants, and budgets. And to make shopping easier, I've got links to all my picks at the best prices down in the description. And as a side bonus, we make a small commission that helps the channel. So thank you in advance for that. So I'm gonna start simple and work my way up. And that means my first soundbar is gonna be the best choice for folks who just want way better sound than their TV can produce without breaking the bank or your brain when setting it up. It's the Yamaha SR-C20A. Now, if Yamaha doesn't feel like a familiar soundbar brand to you, I understand, but Yamaha has serious audio chops. They make outstanding studio speakers, AV receivers, and headphones, among a bunch of other stellar audio gear, including soundbars more expensive and elaborate than this one. But I picked the SR-C20A here because it is under $200 and offers mind-boggling bang for your buck. It's got very clear sound with a healthy amount of bass to give it a big presence in your room, and that's about it. I mean, you get one HDMI ARC port, an optical port, and analog jacks for simple connection to just about any TV, and it's got Bluetooth if you want to easily connect your phone, tablet, or laptop. It's simple, uncomplicated, affordable, and most folks are going to be thrilled with how it enhances their TV watching experience. Simple, sleek, and reliable. I gotta love it. Next soundbar on the list is one that's great for folks who are tight on space or want a portable soundbar. I love this one for dorms, RVs, and even bedrooms. It's the Roku Streambar, and it isn't just a soundbar, it also has a Roku streaming system built in. So you connect this to your TV and you've got all the apps, Netflix, Max, Disney+, you name it, all with better sound than your TV makes on its own. It also has Bluetooth, so it makes a great little Bluetooth music speaker as well. It's kind of hard to think of another piece of home entertainment gear that gives you so much for just 130 bucks. I mean, I own one and I use it all the time. I've even taken it on trips with me, longer trips, used it in hotels, although it does sound beefy enough to piss off the neighbors if you crank it up, which is kind of hard to see as a bad thing, right? Sticking with tiny soundbars for a second, I also love what the Polk Magnifi Mini AX does. Now, it's 500 bucks, so it ain't super inexpensive, but it comes with a wireless subwoofer and the bar itself is super small. So if you want the biggest sound you can get with the smallest footprint, this fills that need in a very special way because it sounds massive. It's one of those systems where when you and pretty much anyone else you know hears it, you'll be like, really? Yeah, it's got that kind of shock value and I love it. Next up, if you're looking for a standalone soundbar that has bass big enough to make you go hunting for a subwoofer that doesn't exist, I have a new favorite for this category. That would be the Klipsch Flexus Core 200. When I first heard this thing, I was like, what? It has that kind of effect. And it's not just about the bass. The soundbar has great clarity and I think renders dialogue really well. Now, you may see this soundbar advertised or paired with a Klipsch Flexus Series sub, or two of them, or Klipsch Flexus surround speakers. And folks, I honestly just like this soundbar by itself, okay? When I added the sub, some of the bass got louder, but it felt disconnected and it sounded like there was a hole in the sound that wasn't there before. And when I added the surrounds, I felt like it spread the sound thin and in a weird way. And I don't think that sacrifice is worth it for the surround effects. So I'm not gonna recommend those add-ons, but on its own, the Flexus Core 200 makes for a great plug and play and be impressed soundbar that's gonna work great for a lot of folks who like a good deal of bottom end when watching movies and TV shows. Now let's up our game on the standalone soundbars a bit. These are going to be for folks who want top tier performance without the subwoofers or surround speakers. My first pick in this category has to be the Bose Smart Soundbar. And you may also find this under Bose Smart Soundbar 600, which is a slightly older version that's still great. It's just missing a couple of the newer features like AI dialogue enhancement and compatibility with Bose's open earbuds. Either way, it's gonna be around 400 bucks, and what you get in terms of sound and features for that price is super impressive. Now, as the name implies, it's smart in that it has an onboard microphone for talking to the Amazon you-know-who smart assistant, as well as Google Assistant. So it functions as both a smart speaker and a very smart choice of a soundbar with excellent audio fidelity and an impressive amount of bass, in addition to some pretty convincing Dolby Atmos surround effects. You also get AirPlay and Chromecast audio capability too, all for well under $500. It kind of seems too good to be true, but when this thing goes on sale, it's too good to pass up. I mean, if you want the maximum sound experience for the minimum investment, I think this has to be my top recommendation. Next up has to be the Sonos Beam. This continues to be one of the most marvelous soundbars ever made. It's remarkably compact at just over 2 feet wide, and not only is the sound quality exquisite, the amount of sound and Dolby Atmos surround effects it puts out is jaw-dropping for the uninitiated. Now, it's true that Sonos has had some struggles with its app this year, but they are definitely bouncing back. The Sonos app makes setting up this soundbar and optimizing it for your room intuitive and relatively quick. Plus, as part of the Sonos ecosystem, it can be part of a multi-room audio system, or you can build onto the Beam with a Sonos subwoofer or any number of Sonos speakers as surround speakers. It's just another excellent option for someone who wants a really clean look at the front of their room, but wants big sound and the ability to make it even bigger down the road. Okay, so I think that about covers my favorite simple and smaller scale soundbar options. Now let's step up to some full system options. Here we'll start with the less expensive options and work our way up to some truly amazing systems. I'm gonna go ahead and plug a couple of Vizio options in here because even though Vizio has gone through some interesting corporate changes recently, the exceptional bang for your buck factor that their soundbars offer remains astounding to me. Plus, Vizio products are readily available at all kinds of huge retailers as well as electronic specialty stores, so you're probably gonna run into these. I gotta warn you though, Vizio's model numbers are the worst, so grab a pen and paper or pull up the Notes app on your phone or just use the links down in the description below. First is the Vizio SV510X-0806. See, I told you. But lousy name aside, this 5.1 soundbar with wireless subwoofer and surround speakers offers incredibly impressive sound for under 200 bucks. And it does virtual Dolby Atmos and DTS-X too. But for a Vizio soundbar system that enhances the surround a bit for not a lot more money, consider the Vizio, here we go again, SL512X-80, SL512X-0806. Now, the model I'm referring to here is the new 2024 version. There are older versions available, but they're kind of coveted, oddly enough, and are gonna cost more. This 2024 version is under $500, and again, incredibly good for the price. Now I wanna swing up market a bit. These are soundbar systems that come at a premium price, but the experience that each of them offers is phenomenal. They all just go about it in different ways. So I would encourage you to worry less about which one of these sounds better, because they're all outstanding, first-class options, and instead think more along the lines of which is gonna fit into your system, your home, and your lifestyle best. First up is a Sonos system centered around the brand new Sonos Arc Ultra. Now, the Sonos Arc was and is still a remarkable standalone Dolby Atmos soundbar solution, but the Sonos Arc Ultra improves on the original Arc's bass response in a major way. Now, cards on the table, as I'm recording this video anyway, I have not personally experienced the Sonos Arc Ultra yet, but our other resident soundbar guru, Simon Cohen, has thoroughly tested it in his home and has glowing things to say about it, and I trust his take 100%. Now, as I said before, the Sonos Arc Ultra on its own makes for a stellar system. But add on a couple of Sonos Era 300 speakers, and the Dolby Atmos surround experience is going to be otherworldly. And if you need your home to shake, I mean really rumble, the new Gen 4 Sonos Sub is as nimble and forceful as it is stylish. So, a system with the Sonos Arc Ultra, a couple of Era 300s as surrounds, and a Sonos Sub is going to be my top recommendation for anyone who wants a stylish, fully featured system that can tie into a whole home music setup as well. I'm just like a really, really big fan. Next up has to be the Samsung Q990 series. Now, there's the 2023 Q990C and the 2024 Q990D. I don't think it makes much difference which model you get. They're both outstanding. Now, the look of this system isn't as stylish or modern as the other two premium systems I'm talking about here, but what it lacks in fancy looks, it makes up for with stellar performance. It is also the most reasonably priced of the three premium ones, and it's the only one that actually comes in one box, if that counts for anything. As a bonus, Samsung's Q Symphony sound, a feature enabled by certain Samsung TVs, makes for a pretty meaningful enhancement. So if you're a Samsung TV owner, there's a pretty good reason to lean toward the Q990 soundbar series. And last, but certainly not least, we come to the Sony Bravia Theater Quad. Now, the look of this system is not going to be for everyone, but it does make for a stealthier system if you choose to hang these speakers on the wall. I also love that it runs off this one tiny little box, and the sound quality is nothing short of spectacular, almost no matter where you put the speakers. More on that in a second. Also, when it comes to music listening, it's a tight race for me between the Sony Theater Quad here and the Sonos system I just mentioned, but I tend to favor the Quad for music because you have fully separated front, left, and right speakers. So it can create a soundstage that's much wider and deeper than any other system on this list. Yes, I know it isn't technically a soundbar, but that's kind of the point. Now, don't be worried about the fact that it doesn't have a center speaker. It does not need one. Sony's 360 spatial sound mapping technology works many wonders, one of which is you can put the speakers almost anywhere and get a very contiguous surround sound. But one of its finer attributes is that it helps create a so-called phantom center that's so convincing you will swear voices are coming from your TV. It is pricey, but man, does it deliver an awesome experience. So that's my list, folks. But just because the soundbar that you've been looking at wasn't on this list doesn't mean it isn't a great option. I just had to put some guardrails around this so we didn't go on too long. If you're curious about other soundbars, you can check out our soundbar reviews at digitaltrends.com. Don't forget, I have links to all the products I mentioned here down in the description, and I would so appreciate it if you use them should you decide to make a purchase decision. And hey, would you share this video with someone you think should see it, because that also helps the channel a bunch. Like and subscribe yourself if you'd like to see more. I have lots more videos just like this one. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like.